Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I'm going to be going over exactly the software that I use to generate over $1 million every single month with all the info product offers I'm running. I made this massive Miro board breaking it down. As you guys know, the software is Typeform. You've probably heard of it by now. You've probably seen it around. It's absolutely massive and it's absolutely necessary if you're going to run a high ticket offer at scale. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly how I use it and how you can make a shit ton of money using it as well. So let's jump straight into it. Here we go. Full Typeform guide, how I use Typeform to generate $1 million plus per month with high ticket info products. Now, what is this video about? Here's what we're going over. One, which is how this simple software has generated millions of dollars for me and my creator clients. And two, how to build out a bulletproof Typeform that will print money and run evergreen. So exactly how I use this and how you can use it too. Pretty fucking simple. So what actually is Typeform? It's essentially the same as Google Forms. It's just a software where you can add questions and people can go through the questions, except it's one by one rather than having all the questions lined up. So they don't actually know how long it is when they start the Typeform. Now, this is mostly used for high ticket offers, which means, one-on-one mentorship or some sort of offer that not anyone can join and they probably need at least a few $1,000s to get into it. It's also used to filter lead quality. So like I said, they need to have the correct budget to be able to purchase. So you don't want to be getting on calls with people that have $100 to their name because they're not going to be able to buy this. Helps filter out that. And it's also used to pre-frame the sale. So you can kind of put questions in there that put them in the frame of mind to be sold. And I'm going to be going over all of this in this video. Like I just said, I made this massive Miro board and let's just jump straight into it. So now, before I go in depth on all this, I quickly want to say I'm explaining all of this in the context of me being a growth operator, aka info product agency, aka IPGA, whatever you want to call it. Most people call it growth operating. But essentially what I do is I partner with creators that already have a following. I build them out an info product, which is usually one-on-one mentorship or some type of paid community. And then I sell it to their audience and I simply collect a percent for running the entire thing. So that's what I do. That's the entire reason I'm making this video, is to show you how I do it. Literally, when I set up these offers for these creators, the main software I use is Typeform. A lot of them, I'm literally just setting up a high ticket offer. So it's me setting up a Typeform for them, selling it to their audience and making a shit ton of money. So I'm breaking it all down in this video. Now I'm gonna break down each component of the Typeform that goes into this via a case study, so it'll be easy to follow along. It's gonna be the same case study that I just did. So same Typeform numbers as this, 182K cash collected in 14 days. That's basically this case study, except I'm breaking down each component and giving you the context in Typeform. So here we go, 182K cash collected, sports betting niche in 14 days. Feel free to watch that video if you want after this, but I'm pretty much gonna cover it in this video anyways. So this person was already selling a low ticket Discord, $60 a month for access, community, and picks. So it was literally just sports picks. They would say, hey, this is the this is the play I'm making, and then you can just copy them. That's literally it. So they had around 900 paid members at $60 a month, which is around $54,000 MRR that they already had. Now, essentially what we did is we launched a high ticket one-on-one offer priced at $5,000 via Typeform. So here's the full breakdown. These were the offer details. It was high ticket one-on-one. They paid $5,000 for 6 months of access. And it was simply the creator teaching how he actually finds the picks. So rather than them just blindly following and copying them, he was actually teaching them how he's able to come up with them. It came with a weekly group call and then a private group chat with the creator and a coach for every single person. Now, here are the components that went into launching this offer that I'm about to break down. So first, creating a ClickFunnels landing page with the VSL, and then setting up a Typeform application. So it's literally a landing page. That's where all the traffic went. It had a video on it and then a button that goes straight to the Typeform application. We also set up a Calendly to book the qualified leads into calls. So that's after the Typeform, which I'm also going to go into. We onboarded a closer to take all the calls. We posted an announcement in the Discord to all the members revealing the new offer. We also did an email blast announcing the new offer. We onboarded an appointment setter to text non-bookings within 10 minutes of filling the form, which just means if someone filled out the form and they were qualified but they didn't book a call, they'd get a text and then they'd end up booking in a call. And then lastly, we onboarded a setter to DM every single paid member inside of the Discord from staff team accounts and have a convo pushing them to the Typeform. If that sounds like a lot, it actually isn't a lot, and I'm about to break it down. So here we go. Here's how we did it. We did a ClickFunnels landing page, which is simply a VSL and an apply button. So here's an example of the landing page, and I have a full in-depth video on YouTube, a full course video showing how to do this. It's like an hour long, full back-end course. So feel free to watch that after this video as well. But here's just an example of what the landing page looked like. Super simple. We had hero text, we had the VSL, we had a button, and then we had testimonials. That's really all you need. So here's what goes into the landing page. Now, when it comes to the landing page, obviously you're either gonna make a low ticket or a high ticket landing page. This video, I'm mostly gonna be focused on high ticket because that's pretty much when I use Typeform. So many cases with a high ticket offer, I won't even do a landing page. I'll just do straight to the Typeform, skip the landing page. But in this case, we did do a landing page. Here's what goes into it. You have the hero text, the subtext, the VSL, button to pay, and a wall of results. So in this case, this should say button to apply, but it would be button to apply for the high ticket. And then on this side is button to pay. So low ticket pretty much always needs a landing page, and the landing page is almost always identical. So low ticket and high ticket, literally the only difference is a button to pay versus a button to apply. On the low ticket landing page, they can buy it straight off the landing page. On a high ticket landing page, they have to apply and go through the form and then get on a call to be sold. They can't just buy it. And I still use Typeform if low ticket is top of funnel, but only in the back end. So I'm about to get into this, but like I said, for a low ticket landing page, it's just a buy now button. They can just buy it. But for high ticket, it's apply and it goes to the Typeform. So here's how it works. The apply button links directly to Typeform. So they click apply and it goes straight to the Typeform. On the Typeform, there's between 6 and 8 questions. Depends on the offer. You can change it up a little bit. I'm going to go through what those questions are, how long it should typically take for someone to do a Typeform. We have all this data within Typeform, so I pretty much know exactly what works to get the highest conversions possible. So here's the questions, and I'm also going to run through how to set this up in the Typeform software and which subscriptions you need. But first, before I do that, here we go. You have the basic information, so you got to get their location and age and Instagram username. Location and age is extremely important because you can actually figure out if they can get financed if you have their location and age. This is extremely important because if they're in the US, if they're above 18 and they don't have the money, they can still buy it through financing. So keep that in mind. The niche related questions. So what's their current experience in X? So in this case, it would be what's their current experience in sports betting and what are they struggling with most? Maybe they'll say something like, oh, I'm struggling finding picks on my own. Okay, perfect. They're a perfect fit then. Their budget, obviously, how much they're able to invest, and then how much they're currently making and how much they want to be making. Now, this question is very important because you can't just say how much are you able to invest because it's too obvious you're trying to sell them. It needs to be more direct. It needs to say, this is a whatever investment. This is a $5,000 investment. Are you able to make that investment? And then there needs to be some options. It could say, yes, I can. I have $5,000 to invest. No, I don't. I have 1 to 3K to invest. I need to do a payment plan. Like you need to give a couple options and then they essentially choose their answer and then that gives you the information you need without being so salesy. After those questions, it's just the contact info. So name, number, email, and then before booking, preface them to only book a call if they're serious and they know that they will show up to the call. So it's better to capture their information at the end of the Typeform because they've already invested their time, so they're more likely to fill it out. So rather than doing contact information at the very start like most people do it at the end because if they've already gone through all of these, they don't really have to give any sensitive information here. They can just go through, fill it out, and then at the end is where you can pretty much get their contact information, and they've already invested their time into filling that out, so they're not going to not give it to you once they get that far. So here's a little breakdown. You get the basic information, then the pain points, which is going to help with the sale a lot, their budget, their contact information, and then pre-booking, confirming that they're going to show up to the call. There you have it. So 378 total Typeform fills is what we got from this. Here's what it looks like. Now, what numbers of this matter? There's about 1,300 views, 569 starts, 66.4% ended up completing it and actually submitting it, and it took 8 minutes to complete on average. So which numbers matter? The completion rate and the time to complete are the two metrics I've found that really matter. The rest is just whatever. Obviously, views and that sort of thing matters, but that comes down to your marketing where you're pushing it. But within Typeform, these are the only like trackable analytics that you can change within Typeform. So completion rate, which is literally just what percent of the starts become submissions. So what percent of starts end up becoming submissions. That's literally all this is. 66.4% is very high. And that's only that high because this is an ascension funnel. We sent this Typeform to customers. This is not to cold traffic. This is not an Instagram story. Everyone that received this Typeform is a paying customer inside the low ticket. They're paying $60 a month. So that's very important to keep in mind. Now, if you run this, it's probably going to be lower than 66.4% unless it is an ascension funnel where they're already paying for something and they're being upsold. It just depends. Now, the time to complete. This comes down to how in-depth the Typeform questions are. I like to keep it under 10 minutes if possible, but always under 15 minutes. And I've even seen some people try to require like Loom videos and like application recordings where they have to make a video about themselves to submit it in the Typeform so it's like more exclusive. But it's probably the most retarded thing I've ever seen because even if a prospect has money, even if they are qualified, like how many people are going to want to fucking do that? This is not like a job application or something. So you guys like don't make this overcomplicated. I like to keep it under 10 minutes. This gives you all the information you need. This pre-frames the sale, and it's still going to be under 10 minutes. So let me show you real quick how to actually set this up within Typeform. So now obviously the most important question is which plan should you actually buy? They have individuals, teams, they have all these different plans. The one I use in pretty much every info offer I run is this one. It's just plus, it's like $60 a month. You don't really need business. It's pretty much, as far as I know, business is the same as plus. It's just you get more responses. But typically for high ticket info offers, even in this case, like when we have that many people paying for a low ticket and we're pushing it through an ascension funnel, like we're not going to pass over 1,000 responses a month. So usually plus is the perfect one to go for, $60 a month. But you really do need to pay for a plan because you want the Typeform logic. You want to be able to use all their good features, and it's so fucking worth it. So that's the plan I used, and let me show you how to actually make the Typeform in the first place. So all you've got to do is go to create a form. You can just start from scratch, and then it will give you everything you can add. Guys, like I said, it's super simple. These are really the only ones you need to know. You need to know multiple choice, and then you can click add content. You can add the rest. So it's literally multiple choice. You can also add a start if you would like, which basically will give them a welcome screen. So it'll say, hey, this is what this is, and then they press start to start it, and then it gets straight into the questions. And then aside from multiple choice, really the only other things you need is short text and long text. I pretty much never use drop down. I never use any of these other things. That's all I use. And then at the end, all you need is, where's contact info? There you go. These are the only types of questions you need. So start is optional. You have this, which is multiple choice. You have the short text, long text, and then contact info. And then obviously there might be a couple with short text, a couple with long text. You have to figure it out based on the questions you use and following these specifics, but that's literally it. And then once you're done, you just click share and it gives you a link and you're done. Your Typeform is live. Now the only other thing you can do, which I'm going to get into, is endings. So you can add logic and then you can basically base it on whatever the answer is. So for example, if someone's unqualified, they're never even going to see the Typeform page. This is the beauty, okay? I'm about to get into this, but if someone fills out their Typeform, you can literally select like, okay, if they put this answer to this question, the Typeform ends. They're never going to even make it to the Calendly to book a call. This ensures that everyone you're speaking to through your Calendly, everyone booking calls is qualified. They have the money to invest. They have the right answers to all the questions. They meet your qualifications. So you're only going to be speaking to qualified people on call. You never have to waste your time talking to a brokey ever again. So back to this. Let me go through this Typeform again, or this Miro rather. Where were we? We were right here. Now, something I want to go over super quick. Sports betting groups tend to have a higher churn rate, so this actually had like more views and shit than like actual paid members. The reason for that being, there was a section of the Discord with around 2,000 churned members, aka previous subscribers, that we posted in as well. So that's why we were able to get a little bit more people filling it out than we actually had inside of the paid section of the Discord. So total out of all of these fills, literally 378 people filled the Typeform. Out of all of those, 143 ended up being qualified, which equates to around 38%. And qualified simply means they either have the money to invest or they can be financed, which, like I said, either means they're 18 or they're also in the US. And this is why I ask for location and age, because it tells me if they're in a country with money or with a credit system, so they can finance through Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm. If you guys don't know, you can literally finance info products. So someone in the US that has a credit score and literally has $0 to the name can finance a few $1,000 info product for a couple $100 a month and over like 24 months or whatever it is, and then get approved for that, which is absolutely insane. Shout out the American credit system, but if they're at least 18 as well, it matters. So they obviously you don't have a credit score if you're fucking 17. So the next part of this, Typeform also allows you to filter out unqualified people using Typeform logic, like I was just mentioning to you guys, which means you're only speaking to qualified prospects. You don't have to speak to broke people. This is what it looks like. This is obviously a very confusing one. This is a lot more simple one. So, it goes to my Calendly, or it goes to you do not meet the qualifications. That's literally it. So the qualified people are the only people that can speak to me. This is a lot simpler version of it, but it can get this in depth, and Typeform maps it out really nice, so you can literally just drag it to each other and I'll show you how it works, but it's actually very simple. So shout out Typeform. Now, if they are qualified, they get sent to a Calendly to book a call. I personally like to use Google Meet rather than Zoom. A lot of people like to use Zoom, but I use Google Meet just because, I mean, everyone has a Gmail account, so it's way easier. No one has to like sign up for Zoom or download Zoom or any of that bullshit. It's all just through Google. So I prefer to use Google Meet, and always use a Calendly. You need to pair it with Calendly. Now, out of all those people that went this far, 131 ended up booking, which is 92%. That's also after reaching out to the people that didn't book and getting them to book. So around 8% were qualified and then just never ended up booking for whatever reason. Now, of those 131 bookings, 116 people ended up getting on calls, which is an 88% show rate, which is actually considered pretty high. Now, the reason we're able to get this so high is because we only allow booking up to 48 hours in advance. So literally only 2 calendar days into the future is what they can schedule. That means if today is Monday and they want to schedule for Friday, they can't do it, okay? They can only go up to 48 hours in advance, which basically captures them at their peak interest, and they're not going to forget. Like if you let them schedule a month out, a fucking month, they're going to forget they ever booked a call. They're not even going to remember who you are. So you got to capture them at peak interest. So also allowing people to book calls same day if possible. Obviously, this depends if you have a closer, what your schedule looks like. But if you can make it so someone can book a call 2 hours from now, that's going to be insane because that person's going to get closed. They're at peak interest. They're still going to be thinking about you. Everything is like peak. So you want to capture them at peak interest. So if you can do same day, it's absolutely massive. Now, we also send SMS and email blasts. So we send right after booking, we send 24 hours in advance before the call, 6 hours in advance, and then 10 minutes in advance. And also personally texting them, so hitting them on WhatsApp or iMessage, wherever they're located, and texting them a couple hours before the call. This is not automated. This is like an actual personal text from yourself. Now, Typeform can also be used as a CRM because they have tagging. So you can also connect Slack to get notified. I personally hate Slack. I don't fuck with it at all. I hate that software. Everyone always asks me if I use Slack. No, I don't fucking use Slack. I hate it. I think it's so confusing. It's just, I don't know how it's gotten so popular. I hate it. It does work well though, and they do have a lot of integrations. They have webhooks and all that. So you can actually set up Typeform to send notifications every time you get a fill in the Slack. You can also set up Typeform to do Sheets, CRM tracking, Gmail notifications. Like Typeform has so many integrations. Zapier, every little software they can integrate with. So Typeform, good for you on that. But me personally, I don't use Slack. Fuck Slack. You can literally use Typeform as a CRM if you want to because of the tagging. So now moving up here. Out of these 116 calls, 52 of them closed, which was a 45% close rate at a $5,000 offer, $3,500 average cash collected. Obviously, a lot of people ended up doing payment plans, but this is the average cash collected, not contract value, coming out to a total of $182K total cash collected, and then $260,000 total contract value. So obviously, as people pay off their payment plans, more and more money will be coming in, but this is the actual cash collected figure. Now, even more will be closed from prospects in that initial 14 days as follow-ups continue to go out. So there are a lot of people that, maybe they went on call and then they said, oh, let me think about it, and they haven't closed yet. Obviously, some of those people will end up closing, which means an even higher cash collected, which it actually is higher than this now. I'm just still using the same numbers from the case study from like a week or two ago, but it already is a higher number than that. And also, many of these people will be successfully upsold at the end of 6 months. So like I said, it's $5K for 6 months. Obviously, a lot of them are going to want to continue after those 6 months, which means they are going to be upsold. Woo. Awesome. So there you have it. That's what the Typeform breakdown looks like inside of a high ticket offer. Pretty simple, not a ton that goes into the data side of things. It is really just a simple software that spits out cash like it's nothing. So now that you know how it works, I'm going to break down the different applications you can use this for. When I say applications, I literally mean like different uses for it. I don't mean like software or something, like actual different applications. So this is what I do for creators based on the offer they sell. Let me break it down quickly. Low ticket versus high ticket. Here we go. So high ticket versus low ticket. I'm sure most of you guys already know what this is. 2 types of offers. Pretty much every creator needs both of these offers. They need an ecosystem of offers if they're doing some volume. It's very, very simple. And I base this on their platform, their niche, and their demographic. So you'll decide which offer to lead with as top of funnel based on these things. So let me give you an example. An example for a low ticket would be, this is a very extreme example, but say they're in India, they're all 16 to 17 years old, and the platform is TikTok. This is like as low of a quality demographic as it gets. Okay, I'm sorry, India, but most people in India don't have any fucking money, so it's as low as it gets. And then on the other end of it, you have YouTube, which is a very high quality platform. People are watching 30-minute, hour-long videos. They're invested into a business model. Like, It's a lot higher quality. Let's say they're all of age too. They're 21 plus, which again, you could still be under, you could still be 16, 17, and this would still be a high quality demographic. They're in the US, which of course is the biggest spending country. Everyone has money in the US. Not everyone, but out of all the other countries, US spends the most, especially on info products. So this would be an extremely high quality demographic. Shout out the USA. God bless the USA. So here we go. This is what they look like. A low ticket offer. If I had to sell an offer to this, which honestly, even if this person had 1 million followers, it probably still wouldn't make any fucking money. That's how bad like India and TikTok and young people are. It's just like the worst demographic ever. But, and again, nothing against Indians. I'm just saying. But low ticket offer, I would do something either 97, somewhere between 97 and 197 one time, or between $20 and $97 per month. And it's usually a community hosted on either School or Discord. Then the other side of it is a high ticket offer, so between $2,000 and $8,000 upfront, which includes direct one-on-one with the creator, group coaching calls. It really depends on which one they want to do. You can do either or. It just kind of depends what kind of time they want to put into it. Obviously, a one-on-one would do better, but some of them just want to do group coaching. It usually includes a time frame, and then it also has a strong guarantee. That's the biggest thing. So if they sell a high ticket, I build them a low ticket to downsell their unqualified leads. And if they sell a low ticket, I build them a high ticket offer to upsell their customers. So most people in BizOp are already going to sell something. So you're never going to be able to partner with someone that's selling nothing, okay? But what you can do is build them out an ecosystem of offers like I mentioned. So whatever they don't sell, you can pretty much sell the opposite and help them set all that up. So you have an ecosystem of offers. And that's also how I'm going to be explaining how I use Typeform for low ticket. So in both of these scenarios, as long as they have at least one high ticket offer, again, high ticket offer is the main thing for Typeform, then I use a Typeform. I do not use Typeform to sell a low ticket. However, you can use Typeform as a means to hit up unqualified leads for high ticket and downsell them into a low ticket. So let me give you an example of this. Say we ran, let me go back over here. Okay, so we ran this Typeform, okay? 143 people, 40%, let's say 40% of them are qualified. Okay, we'll round up. That means 60% of these people, 60% are unqualified. So 60% of these people could not put 5K, they could not put a couple thousand down, they could not get credit financed, but these people could have $1,000, they could have $500. So why can't you downsell them into a community for $100 a month? You get what I'm saying? That's the only use case where I use a Typeform for a low ticket. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, like I said before, for high ticket, I lead with a Typeform on the application page. So it's literally just the apply now button, go straight to the Typeform link. And then for low ticket as top of funnel, I only use the Typeform as a back end upsell, and I have appointment setters reach out to a low ticket community members with it. So if low ticket is top of funnel, like I said, you can upsell people into high ticket as well by literally messaging, just exactly what we did here. We messaged all the members of the low ticket, we had a conversation with them, got them to fill out the Typeform, and then they went through the whole upsell process through the Typeform. And that's super simple. Low ticket paid community, you have an appointment setter who reaches out and then gets them all into the Typeform. Super simple. Now, there's one more thing you can do to utilize Typeform, and it is to find out if a creator is worth working with in the first place and to come up with the best offer for them before selling anything at all. So let me explain. You can do this Typeform test. Now this works best only if you're working and you're leading with a high ticket as the top of your funnel. So you simply create a Typeform to gather information about their audience budgets and what their struggles are. Obviously, budgets are the most important thing. This is the perfect way to gauge if their audience even has money in the first place. Before you've built out anything, before you build a landing page, scripted a VSL, set up a CRM, before any of that, you can do a simple Typeform to test their audience simply with an Instagram story post. Even if their audience is on YouTube, you can post it on their Instagram. Usually they have some followers on their Instagram from their YouTube. You can just get a gauge of what their audience looks like. Now this is super simple, 4 to 5 questions. All you get is their name, number, email, location, age, same thing as before, what their current experience is, what they're struggling with, and then same as before, how much they're able to invest, how much they're making currently, and how much they want to be making. This is not a book a call funnel. This is not goes to a Calendly after if they're qualified. This is simply to get data points from their audience and figure out if it's even worth doing an offer with them. So this will tell you exactly what to price the offer. It'll tell you exactly what should be included in the offer because they're telling you exactly what they're struggling with. So if you're struggling coming up with a strong guarantee, this is going to give you the answer. The number one struggle people have should be the guarantee. It solves that problem. And then last, it's going to tell you if they're even worth working with to begin with, which is the most important thing. It's going to save you so much time of building out a whole funnel and then launching it only to find out that it was a shit audience all along and you didn't know, and then you're fucked. So If you made it this far in the video, then you're probably already doing growth operating, or at least you feel like this is something that you could do, in which case, listen closely, because I am currently looking for operators to help me run up my creators. As you guys know, I have a lot of videos on how I bring on so many creators, pretty much all through my Instagram DM outreach. I also get referrals. Even now, my content is bringing me inbound creators. So I have a shit ton of creators. The point is, as many of you already know by now, I opened my own high ticket program to scale and work with more creators. Essentially, I'm pairing you with a creator that I have and we run it up together. So as I said, I'm currently looking to scale with more operators. I need more operators to come on and help me scale these offers and these creators with me. So if you haven't watched this video yet that I mentioned earlier, which was the case study, which I kind of broke down in this video, but this is a lot more in depth, showing exactly how I do it, then I highly suggest you watch it because it breaks down exactly what I showed in this video. But yeah, like I said, I'm looking for more operators. That video is me breaking down that offer, but I did it entirely with a mentee. I literally ran up that creator with a mentee. We made a shit ton of money and he got to skip the entire annoying multi-month long process of trying to find a solid creator to work with. I literally gave him one. We ran it up together. It was that simple. So watch that video, and if you feel like this is a business model you could take seriously and something you would want to go all in with, then check out the form in the description and fill it out, because I have the creator acquisition part completely handled. The thing about this business model is it is not a side hustle, okay? You can't run this like an agency. You can't be working with a shit ton of creators like an agency. You need to pick a few creators, solid creators, work with them, run it like a partnership one-on-one with them. The same thing I do with all my creators, the same thing I do with all my mentees. I don't do a fucking group coaching thing. I don't do a course. Same with the creators. Like, we need to be running this like a partnership. The agency model is completely busted for this business model, and it just simply does not work. This is not a course or some bullshit. You're jumping straight into it alongside me and immediately working with and scaling a creator. There's no better way to fast track this business model than to jump in it with a creator that's already ready, launching an info product to their audience that already has a ton of people waiting to buy, and it starts making money immediately. Okay, it's gonna be hard at first. You're not gonna know what the fuck you're doing, but that's why I'm there to guide you through it. We do it all together. We launch the creator together, and obviously there's no faster way to learn something than to actually fucking do it, especially with this business model. Because courses, I can make so many YouTube videos, I can keep posting this value, but at the end of the day, it's not all gonna apply to the same creator, okay? There's no one trick pony. There's no, you do this for every creator and it's gonna make money, because every single offer is different. Every single thing you do for every creator is different. Different things work better with different creators, and it's about having that eye to be able to look at them and just know what kind of offer would sell. I do have a vetting process, so if you think you're competent enough and you are a quick learner, then fill out the Typeform below and I'll be in contact. But with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about anything I went over in this video, feel free to ask me in the comments down below or DM me on Instagram at Dustin Verano. I answer all my Instagram DMs, and of course, subscribe for more value because I'm always posting content like this, and I'll see you in the next video.